mà níbẹ̀ yẹn ò nílé lóko. Ẹ sì kú dédé àsìkò yìí. Hello everyone, it's Adirunke again. I hope your day is going well. After I made my previous video on Ṣóńṣó and I sang it the Nigerian way, how it is sung in Nigeria, or at least what you will hear more commonly. There are different ways of singing the song, and it's evident in other countries. After I made that video, Nubia Alake sent me a clip or even the entire video of how it is sung in Brazil. I searched for it before I made that video but couldn't find it. I didn't even know it was sung in Brazil. I was very surprised to find it. And the way that it is sung in Brazil is very close to the Cuban way of singing it too. So I found that very interesting. So what I'd like to do in this video is essentially just translate the Brazilian one. If you saw the previous video that I made on this song, on how it is sung in Nigeria, you will probably already know what the words mean, but I thought I'll do it anyway. So the words are Ọ̀dàrà kò lórí ẹjọ́, Ṣóńṣó ọ̀bẹ. I found it interesting that in some Brazilian versions, some people say ọ̀bẹ. Most people say ọ̀bẹ actually. And there's also abe, which is an alternative. They mean essentially the same thing. Ọ̀bẹ is mostly used for knives exclusively. It's what I found these days. Abe can be just anything that cuts. It could be a knife too. It could be even like a blade, a razor type of blade, whether it has a handle or it doesn't. So abe seems to be more generic to things that cut, that are not larger than knives anyway. But ọ̀bẹ is these days mostly used exclusively for knives, and I bet that is how it has been for a while. So, but be is the central verb there, and that is the cut. So the noun makers aside, it's still essentially the same thing. Ṣóńṣó ọ̀bẹ, Ṣóńṣó ọ̀bẹ. Ọ̀dàrà kò lórí ẹjọ́, láàróyè Ṣóńṣó ọ̀bẹ. Ọ̀dàrà kò lórí ẹjọ́, Ṣóńṣó ọ̀bẹ. Ṣóńṣó ọ̀bẹ, ọ̀dàrà kò lórí ẹjọ́ ò, láàróyè Ṣóńṣó ọ̀bẹ. Ọ̀dàrà kò lórí ẹjọ́, Ṣóńṣó ọ̀bẹ. Ṣóńṣó ọ̀bẹ, ọ̀dàrà kò lórí ẹjọ́ ò, láàróyè Ṣóńṣó ọ̀bẹ. I hope that will do. But that's the song. And the Cuban version is also similar. I should probably dedicate a video to that too. It's very similar to this one. They had Baba Ashemi, I think, because that's what it sounds like to me. The father who restricts like hair flow, and I think that is also a reference to the knife too. Ijonjo abe, ọ̀dàrà kò lórí ẹjọ́, Baba Ashemi, Ijonjo abe. Yeah, I have to dedicate a separate video to it, but it's very similar to this one. So the words ọ̀dàrà kò lórí ẹjọ́, ọ̀dàrà, o is the noun maker there. The one who, da is to cast. Someone who pours something out, the way that you would like, oh, you just cast something. Ara is wonder, something that makes you go, what? I didn't even predict that. Or like, oh, that's, wow. So the one who casts or pours out wonders, Ọ̀dàrà. Ko is a negator. So when you see it in a statement, it suggests that something is not the case. Not is what it introduces. Lórí is two words combined. Ní and orí. Ní is to have. Orí is the head. And then ẹjọ́ is talk or speech. It also alludes to negotiation. So even till date, this song is really old, but even till date, many things don't change if you are, let's say you tell your parent you'd like to go out at a certain time and they say no, and you start to say, oh, please, and they say, that song, I don't have time for talk. I don't have time for speech, which is I don't have time for negotiation. Don't bother. We can't negotiate this. It's like, that's final. I don't have time for negotiation. It's talk or speech, in and of itself, but it also alludes to negotiation. Ọ̀dàrà kò lórí ẹjọ́. Ọ̀dàrà, the one who casts wonders. Ọ̀dàrà, the one who casts wonders, the one who is wondrous, who initiates wonderful things that are marvelous. The one who casts wonders does not have the head for negotiation. It's a way of saying they don't function that way. They don't think that way. They don't, once something is supposed to be the case, it's going to be the case. They don't have time for bribery or like, can we not, no, they don't have time for that. They are very straightforward, could say. If they say something is supposed to be the case, or if somebody is deserving of something, they will ensure that they get it once their energy is invited. So that's what that first line means. And then Ṣóńṣó be. Ṣóńṣó is just an adjective. In and of itself, it doesn't really mean anything. It's like onomatopoeic even. I can't even break this down. Ṣó suggests shop. So Ṣóńṣó, I suppose, it's kind of onomatopoeic, but ṣó sort of already suggests the shop anyway. Ṣóńṣó, sharp or pointed side of something. Ṣóńṣó, and then ọ̀bẹ, ọ̀bẹ, knife. So the sharp or pointed end of a knife. It's interesting because the Brazilians and the Cubans and even the Nigerians, we Yoruba people anyway, who cares what countries we live in? Some of us, when we sing this song, we describe Eshu himself as Ṣóńṣó ọ̀bẹ. There's a bit of personalization, personification, I think is what it's called. Personification of the knife itself, of the sharp end of a knife. We describe Eshu that way. It's very interesting. Eshu himself is being described as Ṣóńṣó ọ̀bẹ in this version. The sharp or pointed end of a knife. That's Eshu. Ọ̀dàrà does not have time for negotiation. They are the sharp or pointed side of a knife. They are the justice seeker, so to say, law and order enforcer. So it's very interesting. It differs from the version that I sung earlier, because that one, there's no personification there. It's very like plain. But this one there's a personification here. You describe Eshu as the sharp or pointed side or end of a knife. This line again, Ọ̀dàrà kò lórí ẹjọ́. Ọ̀dàrà does not have the time for negotiation, but the O is like a way of exclamating. So exclamation word. And then láàróyè or láàróyè, the wealth, the wealth who. Ro is to make a sound. Ro is to utter a sound or make a sound. Think of that in ro, balak. When something utters a sound anyway, ye is to thrive, to live, to survive, but mainly it could be any of the three. Thrive. Láàróyè, the honorable, the one who is honorable, whose words bring life, whose words let you thrive. So when Eshu speaks, he speaks life. If somebody has been condemned, and I explained why this name is significant. So Eshu stays at the crossroads, yes, but Eshu is also a traveler, knows many roads, manages roads. Nothing can go through a certain route without Eshu's knowledge. They are very aware of how things go. And that's why they're invited to any ceremony. Eshu leads because Eshu knows the way, essentially. But more importantly, Eshu knows what is ahead too. So and even till now, Eshu would work with Orunmila and go to the house of death, go to the house of sickness, go to the house of like diseases, whatever, and listen in on what's going on there. So they are also very informed, well informed about what's going to be, what's going to happen. If somebody is going to die, let's say, Eshu knows Ishu knows where that discussion is taking place. If there's a remedy, Ishu listens in. Ishu knows. Very keen on information. I don't even think like the energy of Ishu is explored well enough.
Àjọngọ́rọ̀ àròkọ ẹ̀bọra tí ń jẹ́ látọpa ọ̀bẹ́lẹ́kún sọkún ẹlẹ́kún sọkún láàróyè ń ṣẹ̀jẹ̀ òbé mi sunmí ẹni mi sunmí láàróyè ń sùn fún ẹ̀bọra tí ń jẹ́ látọpa èṣù o èṣù mọ̀mọ́ sẹ́ni o dákun mọ́sẹ́ni kọ̀ọ̀kan wá èṣù mọ̀mọ́ ṣe wá dákun mọ́sẹ́ni kọ̀ọ̀kan nínú awo àwa rẹ̀ ní ṣùgbọ́n àwa rẹ̀ ní kẹ́kùn èṣù mọ́ ṣe wá dákun mọ́sẹ́ni kọ̀ọ̀kan wá o èṣù tó bá sọ máa wo ilẹ̀ lọ́dà o ńlọ́dà láké 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 ńlọ́dà lóko o ńlọ́dà lọ́là èdèlé ọ̀rọ̀gùn ọlọ́mọ ọlọ́mọ ògbóyè ògbóyè láké o ògbóyè lóko ògbóyè lọ́là èdèlé ọ̀rọ̀gùn ọlọ́mọ èṣù mọ́sẹ̀ nìkankan wá o.